Okay, we're back. I think I killed the software trying to press too many buttons at once. So hopefully it'll remain stable. Okay, which is good timing as well because we are just about to get underway for qualifying. So let's see how we get on. So the circuit is Interlagos, as we've covered already. It's a tricky circuit to master. There's lots of tight, twisty sections and quite a few corners that can throw you off a bit like that. I'm hoping that was deliberate from wrong. Nonetheless, here we go with qualifying. So we are going to get 8 minutes of qualifying. Let's have a look and see who comes out first. Everybody out safely, and it's Rom Elson who's going to lead us out. So let's have a look here. We'll try and go on board with Rom as he comes round for his outlap. So he's cleared the first couple of corners. The pit lane does that for you quite nicely. After coming around the left-hander, you come in for this sweeping right. Just got to try and keep it close to the inside. A bit closer than that, a bit closer than that. And then hard on the brakes and down, cutting this sharp right-hander and then straight into the left-hand hairpin. Second gear, just keeping on the power there, push right to the outside. See, not much time to build at speed. You've got to have good cornering. Obviously, everyone in the same car, but it's vital to get good traction out of these corners, especially this one, which shoots you around this penultimate corner, the left-hander. Full on the throttle all the way down and braking at about the 50-metre mark and swinging to the left and getting as good a shot as you can out to the main straight. So that brings you all the way down here, full throttle, and we will see the guys come around to start their first flying lap. So the runners are Rom, Pagani. We've got Jono, Aaron, T. Smith, resident champion. See if anyone can beat him this season. Lennon, Junkie Sports, Houdini's Wi-Fi, aka Michael C. Changes his name more often than Prince. Unsafe Release, British Your Daddy, Just Mikey, Fever, Blue Flag, and Lee Cole. So 14 races today. To be around safely. We've got someone, Lee Cole, sitting way off at the back at the minute. Not sure what happened to Lee there. He seems to be alright. He's obviously just held off before starting his lap, giving himself plenty of room, but he's run wide there. That's not going to help him. Probably be picking up a penalty for that. So we'll go back to the front and see what sort of time Ron can set as a benchmark. We've got plenty of people following close behind him. Pagani's looks like he'd be in range for a decent bit of slipstream coming down the home straight, so that's definitely going to help him. Jono following close in as well. Yes, the artist formerly known as Michael C. That's how I'll refer to him from now on. 1:36.84 Ron. Pagani immediately betters that, and Jono immediately betters that. So still 4.5 minutes to go in qualifying. Plenty of time for the order to be rearranged, but as it stands, Jono hits the lead early. We know, if you watched any of last season, you'll know that Jono is going to be the one to watch out for this season, at least in my opinion. He came in about 4 races into the last season, so he never had a hope of challenging, for the podium in terms of the championship, but he won so many races in the time he was here that he may be one of the main challenges this season. It remains to be seen. Fever's put himself up in third, so that's a good first lap from Fever. See how we're getting on a bit further back. Mikey's got himself up into 7th. Excellent first lap for Mikey. Lennon, red, unsafe, blue flag. Lee currently picking up the rear after he's off. He was a second or so back. Bringing it round now to finish the second qualifying lap. It looks like they'll get 2 more after this. Keep an eye on Rom in front. Rom goes pole by 3/10. Pagani cuts the gap. It's not enough. Jono can't improve. Aaron jumps up into 4th. So it's Rom who currently leads the way. There are points, I believe, for pole position. I really should have looked the information for the season up sooner, but I've been running to try and figure all this out, so... In fact, no, I'm not sure there is points for pole. Someone feel free to correct me, but I don't think there is any points for pole this season, so it's purely going to be for the advantage of starting at the head of the pack, which is always a massive advantage, obviously. Still, Rom leads the way. He's slightly up on his previous time as well. Despite leading from the front, not getting any toe from anyone else, it's Rom who's setting the pace. Pagani is in close attendance again. Let's see where he can get to. .136.3 to beat. It might be improved upon slightly by Rom. It doesn't, and Pagani goes pole, so with 1 lap to go, Pagani takes pole position by 1/10 from Rom. Jono's still in 3rd, followed by Aaron, and then Fieber, unsafe release, pulling out to the outside as he looks to set a new time, which he does, but it's good enough for 4th. Oh, and Aaron's in the barrier. He was under pressure from unsafe there coming into the final qualifying lap, so that's not worked out for him, so that'll be the end of Aaron's qualifying, so best of 5th place for him unless anybody else jumps him. Won't be Fieber that time. Blue flag 7th. T. Smith is currently only 8th, so reigning champion currently 8th place. He has a habit of leaving it late when it comes to qualifying, or at least last season. So we'll see what he can do on this lap. Nice livery there on T. Smith's car. I like the F1 style branding. Slapped the Union flag on the roof for good measure. Just some obviously Gianni brakes it on. He's gone. He's caught the rear tyre on that corner, giving Lennon a bump around the corner as he goes. So that will be it for T. Smith. So he is going to be starting in the middle of the pack. As we look to see the guys coming around the corner, leaders coming around the final corner for the last time in qualifying. Rom is still leading the way, but he needs to find a 10th to Pagani. See if he can do it. It's got 36 to beat. It's not looking good. No, he's not going to make it. So Pagani currently pole. Can anybody else do anything? Here comes Jono. No. Might be down to unsafe release now to deny Pagani pole. And he's not going to get it either. Lennon does set a new faster time. It's good enough for 9th for Lennon. See who else we've got coming round. We've got blue flag, should I say, coming round for his final lap. This is not too bad a time, but he's not going to improve. Lennon's cruising around. He's finished. And there's just 2 riders left to go. Lee, Cole, and Aaron, who's cruising around after his earlier incident. So let's see what time Lee can set. 1:36.9 for Lee to beat if he wants to improve. And not quite. So there is our grid order for race number 1 as Aaron comes across the line. So we have Pagani on pole, followed by Rom and then Jono. So those guys make up the first 3 spots. So we'll be keeping an eye on them down into the tricky turn 1 on cold tyres. We've got Pagani, Rom, Jono, Unsafe, Aaron, Fever, Blue Flag, T. Smith, Lennon, Lee Cole, Mikey, Houdini's Wi-Fi, Bread is Your Daddy, and then Lee Cole bringing up the rear. Oh, sorry, Junkie Sport bringing up the rear. Apologies, Lee. Okay, first race of GT13. Away we go. Good start from Pagani up front. Rom slightly slower and he's under pressure immediately from Jono. See, everybody's got away cleanly, so down to the first corner. Let's see what happens. Pagani taking a nice, safe line around the inside. Can't say the same for Rom, and it looks like he's going to lose out to Jono through the chicane. And Unsafe Release is putting the pressure on as well. Jono has picked up a penalty there. And he's now backing up the pack slightly, and it's allowed Pagani to get away to the tune of 1.2 seconds. Jono leads us down as Unsafe Release looks to make the move into the left-hander, and he's got the inside, but that's going to turn into the outside for the sweeping right here, and he's let Jono get back in front sensibly. A bit further back, we've got Aaron battling very close with Rom. These two are going to go side by side into this right-hander. Aaron taking the outside line. It's not going to work for him. It looks like Rom's going to get back ahead. If Aaron can hang on all the way around the outside, he might be able to get inside for this corner, and he has done. Hanging on in there, getting a bump along from T. Smith, who's made his way up to 6th place now. So 15 minutes this race, so it's not the longest race, most definitely a sprint race. There's no tyre wear, no fuel wear. So you really have got to get involved right from the start and mix it up. But further back, Blue Flag's not made a bad start. He's into 7th, Lennon 8th, Lee is 9th, Fever 10th, British Daddy 11th, Mikey is 12th, and Junkie Sport still at the back behind Houdini. So 1.7 seconds is Pagani's lead. Yeah, as Peterman said there, top 10, 7 tenths between them. So this is guaranteed to make for close racing. But can anybody do anything about Pagani at this point? He's taken a fantastic line there, pushed it right to the edge. Not such a fantastic line from T. Smith. He's been buffeted about. He cut the corner a little bit, perhaps. I think he might be okay. Up front, we've got Jono challenging Unsafe again for second. Looks like Jono's just about holding on, but Unsafe putting him under all sorts of pressure. And all this is allowing Pagani to get away. So Pagani's now got a 2.7 second lead. That lead is growing all the time. Get some awful camera angles here. All we can see is people's side windows. There we go, that's a bit better. We can see the field coming through there. Lee's looking to put the pressure on Lennon now. Lee's picked up a penalty somewhere. He's slightly wide for day. He should be okay. And at the back, Junkie Sport has got past Houdini's Wi-Fi, so he's relegated him to the back of the pack, and Junkie will now be looking to get back in touch with Mikey in 12th, who is challenging British Daddy as they come down the start-finish straight. Good lap from Mikey at 1:38.5. As they come down into this first corner, we see everybody coming through, sweeping through their decent line from Mikey, unless he cut the corner. He looks to have got the place ahead of Bread. That's him into 11th. So we've got a bit of a gap from those two to this big sort of mid-pack, where Blue Flag is trying to hold on to 9th place ahead of Fever. About hanging in there, some really good close battling here, keeping it clean as well. Skipping back towards the front, see Rom's now joined a pairing of Unsafe and Jono. Jono's picked up a small penalty somewhere, but he should be able to get rid of that. Pagani's gone, he is away. 3.8 seconds now. As I said, it's not a long race. If you can stretch out a lead like this, you've got a very, very good chance He's only getting quicker by the look of things as he comes towards the end of lap 3. Let's watch this little group of 3 down in turn 1, hard on the brakes. You've got to try and take a nice tight line, don't push it too far to the outside, it will compromise the entry to the second part of the chicane. It's unsafe, might have done slightly there, but it looks like Jono has as well. Jono just poking his nose to the outside there. Now pushing unsafe along as they come down to the corner, unsafe taking a defensive line. Perhaps Jono's telling him, get a move on, we've got to try and catch up with the lead, but it's looking like more and more of a remote possibility at the minute. Might just be second place to play for. These 2 Group 4 races, the sprint races that we've got to start the night. The second race will be reverse grid of the first race. So obviously that means if you win, you'll start at the back for the second race, and the points are basically a reverse of your finishing position as well. So first place gets you 14 points, second place gets you 13 points, third place 12 points, etc, etc, down to 14. And in position 14 at the minute is just Mikey, so I'm not sure what happens to Mikey there. He was running 11th, we saw him get past Bread not that long ago. So Mikey's obviously had a little incident there. The rest of the field pretty steady, although Lee Cole's run wide, and he's going to come with the pressure from Blue Flag and Fever now. Tucks in between the both of them. Might look to challenge Blue Flag down the straight and get that place back in turn 1 perhaps, but he's coming under crucial pressure from behind as well. Down they come, and it's Blue Flag and Fever, and they've gone 3 wide into turn 1. They've managed to just about sort themselves out, and it's Blue Flag who's profited most. It was Fever who tried to squeeze right down the inside of the 2 cars alongside him. It's not quite worked out for him. But he's still ahead of Lee. That's given Blue Flag a slight gap now he could look to exploit. 8 minutes to go. T. Smith's are running 7th. Steady start from the reigning champion. Just following in the wake of Lennon in the bright pink Jack Daniels livery. Classic milk livery for Aaron. He's sitting 5th at the minute, reasonably about as comfortable as anybody is in this race at the minute. Second to the racer in front, the second to the guy behind. He's probably one of the only ones with some breathing room at the minute, if you can call it that. Definitely no breathing room for these guys. All fun and laughter for Pagani though. Away he comes down start finish race, just saying quicker and quicker laps. That one just 1,000th off his best, 36.273. The guys behind are setting pace nearly a second slower, so this first race is absolutely Pagani's to lose. Still we remain with these 3 exchanging positions as they go. Rom currently in second place. Aaron trying to catch up, he's cut the gap to 8/10, and just slightly outside of slipstream range. If he can get there before the start finish straight, he might have a chance to buy into this battle. He's had an excellent run through there as well. Nope, bit of an incident at the back. Looks like Mikey's making his way forward again. Saw Houdini just sort of touching on the brakes there, and he sort of let him through, so this looks like the most back and forth battle